Geometry students, just posting a video here to help you out with some of your IXL assignments. Right now I'm looking at Standard M.8, Proofs Involving Triangles, Part 1. So let's take a look at what we've got. Complete the proof that the measure of angle T plus the measure of angle X plus the measure of angle TUX equals 180 degrees. That's these angles here inside this triangle without using the triangle angle sum theorem. They don't want us to use that, so make sure you don't select that as one of your reasons. Here we go. So let's mark this this up a little bit. Let me get rid of those old annotations. And they say that segment TX is parallel to segment UW. They've already marked that, so that's already given. That's given to us, and we see that right here. All right. Angle T is congruent to angle VUW. So angle T is congruent to angle VUW right here. Why? Because of corresponding angles postulate. Now, angle X is congruent, so let's pick a different color here. Hopefully we could choose the right reason. Angle X is congruent to angle WUX. So WUX right here. Well, why is that true? I've got parallel lines, and then I've got these angles on opposite sides of a transversal inside the parallel lines. That sounds a lot like, think about that, opposite sides of the transversal inside the parallel lines. That's alternate interior angles theorem. So let me get rid of my annotations for a second. That sounds a lot like the alternate interior angles theorem. Let's see if that's in here. Aha, there it is. So submit that. We really don't need to worry about the rest of the proof. I would encourage you to read through it. But that's the reason we need for that statement. So click submit. Boom, you got it. Fantastic. Let's look at another one real quick. Complete the proof that the measure of angle G plus the measure of angle F equals 90 degrees inside this right triangle. Well, we're given some information. We're given information that segment GH is perpendicular to segment FH. So FH and GH are perpendicular. That's a given. Why? Well, this right angle measure symbol that we're given here. Measure of angle H equals 90 degrees. The measure of angle H right here equals 90. Well, why? Well, that sounds a lot like the definition of a right angle. Let's see what we got here. Definition of perpendicular lines. Let's see what other, got a lot of reasons in here, so I recommend looking through these. I'm going to look through all of them real quick just to make sure that we hopefully pick the right one. All right, the best one I see in here is the definition of perpendicular lines, and that goes in line with the fact that they gave us perpendicular segments, and then we're saying that one of the angles created by those perpendicular segments equals 90 degrees. If we get it wrong, it actually would be a good example of what to look for when you get a question wrong, but I believe that's the best reason out of all the reasons I saw in the drop-down box. Make sure you read through them carefully. There were about 10 different reasons in there. Let's click submit and see what happens. Well done. All right, fantastic. We got it right. If I'd gotten that one wrong, you could scroll down and they actually explain it to you, why you were wrong and how to get it right next time. Let's do this one real quick. This one now we got to get 2 reasons. We already are at smart score 56. That's fantastic. Complete the proof that the measure of angle Q down here, we'll go ahead and mark that out. Measure of angle Q, we want to show that plus the measure of angle U, put that in a different color here, measure of angle U is equal to the measure of angle SRU. And if you add these together, it's the same as this exterior angle SRU. The measure of the exterior angle SRU without the triangle angle sum theorem or the exterior angle theorem. Well, RT is parallel to QU. Those two segments are parallel. They're given. That's given to us here, and we see that with these parallel line or parallel segment markings. Now, angle Q is congruent to SRT. So angle Q, we're saying that statement that angle Q is congruent to SRT. So here's SRT here. Angle Q, well, got parallel lines. Those are corresponding angles. Let me get rid of that for a second. Hopefully we got corresponding angles theorem, postulate. That works for me. Fantastic. Now, angle U is congruent to angle TRU. So here's TRU. Running out of colors. Let's see here. Green. So angle TRU, that's congruent to angle U. Well, that looks a lot like angles on opposite side of a transversal inside parallel lines. Alternate interior angles theorem. Fantastic. Now the measure of angle SRT, that's in blue, plus the measure of angle TRU, that's green, is equal to the measure of angle SRU in yellow. So blue plus green equals yellow. Well, that sounds a lot like our angle addition. Different textbooks and different websites have different statements for that, but it's just the additive property of angle measure. That's all that is. That the measure of the big angle is equal to the sum of the measure of the two smaller adjacent angles. And then, of course, the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle U is equal to the measure of angle SRU. That's what we were trying to prove earlier. We have that proven there using substitution. So let's submit. Let's see what happens. Fantastic. We're in good shape. All right, so another one where you have two reasons. Let's jump a level. I have the opportunity to jump a level. Look at this one. We don't have anything. We have to come up with all the reasons. Well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can do this one. Hopefully we don't make any mistakes. If we do, it's okay. We'll read the correct answer and go from there. All right. Segment VX is perpendicular to segment WX. Well, that's given. Look at that. They told us that. So the first thing we need to say is given. And honestly, 99 times out of 100, the first thing you say in a proof is something that's given. Okay, we have to start with something that's given in order to prove, later on you'll see here, complete the proof that the measure of angle W plus the measure of angle V equals 90 degrees. That's what we want to try to prove, that these two angles are equal to 90, and I bet it's going to have something to do with angle X being a right angle. So let's see what's going on there. So being that these two things are perpendicular, we know that the measure of angle X is 90 degrees. Why? Well, it's just the definition of perpendicular segments, or the definition of perpendicular lines. So hopefully we've got something here that deals with perpendiculars. In fact, I think we saw that earlier. Let's see here. Definition of perpendicular lines. Fantastic. Perpendicular lines create right angles, 90-degree angles. So now the measure of angle V plus the measure of angle W plus the measure of angle X equals 180 degrees. That sounds a lot like the fact that the sum of the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That's our triangle angle sum theorem. That should be down here in the T's, I hope. Let's see if we can find it. Triangle angle sum theorem, fantastic. All the angles of a triangle when added together equal 180 degrees. Now, notice how the only thing that changed between line 3 and line 4 is the measure of angle X changed from that statement to 90 degrees. That looks a lot like substitution right there. So I'm going to grab substitution out of this list of reasons. And then we get the measure of angle W plus the measure of angle V equals 90 degrees. Let's try to see if we can find an appropriate reason for that. I'm going to go with algebra, because I mean the only thing that changed between line 4 and line 5 is we went from having 90 degrees on the left hand side to having 90 degrees on the right hand side. What happened? Well, they subtracted 90 degrees. I could show that if we need to. Let me get rid of that stuff there. But all we did was a little bit of algebra. The algebra is right here, 90. You can't even read that, can you? Let's see if we can fix that. Let's see if we could change the thickness here. There we go. So 90, subtracting 90. Of course, we got units, degrees. Got rid of the 90 on the left-hand side. Well, 180 minus 90, that's 90 degrees there. That makes sense to me, and this is a nice logical proof with statements and reasons. Let's click submit. Let's see what happens. Oh, nice. We got it right. Keep it up. Fantastic. Well, here's one more. Oh, it looks like we've got to actually put a statement in and then the reason. Let's give this one a shot, and then hopefully this video helps you get through Standard M.8. I'll try to create a video for the other IXL standards as I can. So let's go with this one. It says complete the proof. I'm going to change this thickness a little bit here. There we go. Complete the proof that the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle U equals the measure of angle SRU. So that's what we're trying to prove, that these added together equals that without using the triangle angle sum theorem. All right, here we go. RT, segment RT is parallel to segment QU, given. All right, fantastic. Now, we know that angle Q is congruent to SRT. So angle Q congruent to SRT. That looks a lot like corresponding. Yes, corresponding angles. Okay, cool. All right, now, angle U is congruent to angle TRU. Well, kind of again, turn your head to the side. You got parallel lines. You've got to transversal here. These are interior to those parallel lines on alternate sides of the transversal. That's the alternate interior angles theorem, okay? So I think we're clear on that. Now, what were we trying to prove? Well, what we were trying to prove is this guy right up here. We were trying to prove this. All right? So give me just a second. It might take me a moment to type this in. In fact, I'm going to pause the video while I just use these buttons here. Same for you on your computer. Just use these buttons, measure of angle. I'm just going to click one. Measure of angle Q plus. I'm going to pause. Slow down there for just a second. Don't jump the gun. Don't put angle Q there yet. I put the measure of angle SRT plus the measure of angle TRU equals the measure of SRU. We need to state that first, and then we're going to use substitution to prove this statement here that we're trying to prove. So we should be able to do this in 5 lines. So this reason here, and let's put my annotations back up there. All we're saying is that SRT, okay, plus what is that? TRU, blue and yellow there. We're just saying that those two are equal to the bigger angle when you sum them together. And that's our additive property of angle measure, okay? So we're just saying that these two smaller angles equal the bigger angle. They're adjacent. That's our additive property of angle measure. Let's add one more line. And now, grand finale, the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle U equals the measure of SRU. Why? Well, that's substitution. We said earlier that SRT, its measure is equal to the measure of angle Q, or better yet, that those are congruent. And then the measure of angle U is the same as the measure of TRU, because again, they're congruent. And so we're using substitution there. Using substitution. Let's see if that's going to work for us. And hopefully this is correct. We're going to click submit and see what happens. Delayed gratification here. Let's see. Oh no! I'm pretty sure that one was right. Looks like the internet went down. Yikes. Well, actually, what I could show you. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, it started me over. Okay, so that one was good. You were good on that one. In fact, I had another one set up just in case. Let me get rid of this for just a second. And I think I've got it right here. Let's pull it up. Yeah, there it is. That's a similar one to what we had just a second ago. So same type of idea. You'll probably see this pop up while you're working through M8. Sorry about that. Internet went down for a second. But you could see same sort of situation going on, same reasoning, same idea when you're trying to prove that two angles are equal to another angle, particularly when you have an exterior angle and the remote interior angles without using the triangle angle sum theorem. If you have questions on this, please let me know. Just send me a message through Remind or email me, and I'll post another video. You've seen me work through at least 3 or 4 problems now. Here's a bonus problem I had at the ready right here. And I look forward to hearing from you soon and seeing you guys master these IXL proof standards.